What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and today's a beautiful project, one I've been waiting for quite some time, is the Ken Block 43 Ford Fiesta, looking absolutely sorry for itself. It's in very, very bad condition. Very bad indeed. This is the STRX Ken Block number 43 Ford Fiesta in awful condition. We got it from the junkyard. It's definitely very, very bad. Frames at 33%, and that is the best part about the car. So not good at all. We also didn't get a good deal for it. I bought it for 28,954 and could sell it for 25,988 as it is, losing out on 2,966, which is never a good start. Hopefully we can claw that back either on the drag strip or with a good sale price. This one does have in it the i4 double overhead cam 4x4 engine with 615 factory horsepower, which is pretty good from an i4. Underneath that engine cover, it is in there somewhere. We know I don't particularly like engine covers too much. We may take it off. We may not. We shall see. You've got some fans down the back here. It is looking absolutely stunning. I cannot wait to get this one back together. First things first, though, we need to get this dirty little beast over to the car wash and get it cleaned up. Here we are then in the car wash. Let's get it cleaned. We're already convinced there's the Ken Block livery on it, and it's probably going to be the one that stays, although you can't really tell it too much. It is still in absolutely awful condition, so we'll ignore that for a minute. We'll check out the liveries a bit later on. Let's get the interior done. Let's get it back on the lift. Let's start stripping everything down. Ken Block's Fiesta in the air. Let's check for the oil pan. We can't see it. Let's get in underneath somewhere. Where can we go in? Just there. That's the gearbox. There is no oil pan, so we don't need to drain the oil, but this is a four-wheel drive. So first off, let's get out this big old main drive shaft. Out you come. There we go. And there we go down the back. First two rusty bolts down the back. Not too bad at all. We will grab this middle exhaust section out here just because it's floating and it doesn't attach to anything. And before we move on, I will just quickly show you that sadly, this front exhaust section here can't be amended in the config file. So this one does tuck through the floor, but we're going to gloss over that one and pretend it isn't there. Back up towards the suspension. So we need to get these front wheels off. There's no front wheel on this side, but there is a drive axle, but there is a front wheel on the other side. So let's go over there. Let's get this front wheel off and let's get this one started. There we go, wheel off and front drive axles out. Let's grab the front drive shaft, and we are missing a starter, which means I don't have to nip up the top and go and grab it. I haven't already taken it out. It is just missing, which means I do need to go and buy that one a little bit later on. But let's finish off getting this engine out of here. There's the gearbox out. There should be nothing else connected now. I think that's it. So let's get it dropped down and go and grab our engine crane. Over we go. Let's grab you, get you over to the Fiesta, and let's get this little 4x4 i4 engine out of here. We're going to grab that engine cover. Out you come, and let's get you taken out. It was everything. Brilliant. That is definitely how we like it. Now, what have we got or not got in here? So we are missing a large intercooler, which is from underneath anyway. We're missing a floating air filter, which I'm assuming it goes in the engine cover there. Brake servo, ABS pump, and a module from up there. All of the exhaust apart from the middle section. We're missing an ECU, a coolant reservoir, a battery. We got half a fuse box just down here, missing all of the fuse box, missing all of the fuses. We don't have the pump, we do have the tank, and we don't have the big radiator at the back. So we are missing quite a bit. I need to sort all of that out. We're not going to check out the suspension. I'm going to get all of this stripped out, and we'll come back and work on this beautiful bodywork once I've figured out all of what's missing in here. That's everything repaired, replaced, or upgraded. Now time to sort out the beautiful bodywork on this Fiesta. Let's just get it all off and try and make sure that we do actually get everything, including the engine cover. What have we got here? That's part of the other side. Let's keep going around. What have we got? Doesn't look like this is anything. Tail light. Oh, that's just showing me the radiator underneath. What have we got around here? Nothing there. Out with the door. Is this a part? There we go. Fender down at the bottom. That's a part. What else have we got? Is that roof scoop apart? It is indeed. Out you come. I really don't know if I've got everything or not. Let's just go inside and grab the interior. Then we'll double check in a bit. Out with the seat. And I'm assuming then that steering wheel was just part of it. Never mind. Steering wheel is part of it. Now, is that everything? Don't want to be on that screen. 1% on there. And that looks like everything on there as well. Fantastic. The frame is at 33%, and I bought the car for just under 30,000. I'm gonna say this is. I'm gonna go straight 1,500. Wow, I think this one might sell for a little bit. There we go, 3,612. Let's check out the body shop very quickly. We have seen the Fiesta before. Lots of parts. They are well named. 14 pages. What we're looking for on ours today is a Gymkhana 8. So we've got a couple of pieces. See there, car part 1. We can already mix and match whichever one we like. Then you've also got the Pikes Peak, Gymkhana 3, Open Class, Standard ST, so on and so forth, Z-Tech and all of that. So if we keep going through, we just want to look out for Gymkhana 8. And if we can't see it, I know that there's a replacement part instead of it, but I'm pretty confident by that one there. That's the Gymkhana 8 car in there, so I know that that's the car part 4 we need. So on and so forth. It is very well labelled. Some bits aren't quite as well labelled, but that's just because they've got too many parts. If you look at this one, that's the Gymkhana 8. It doesn't say Gymkhana 8, but it is, along with the Rockstar Racing and the GRC, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on that, but so much to play around with. Gymkhana 8. It just, yeah, it's very easy to use on this one as long as you pay attention to what you're pinning on what. You don't have to go exactly as it is. You can mix and match, but some of them do work better with very specific parts. Again, that one there is for the Gymkhana 8. But there, that's it. I mean, the 14 pages, there is a lot to play around with. Different windscreens, different interior parts for each windscreen. A lot to do with this one. We're going to put ours back together pretty much as the Gymkhana 8. Maybe with a few changes here and there, but nothing special. So I'm going to get all the body parts sorted. We are missing a lot. Then we'll get it all back together before we head over to the paint shop and probably reapply this exact livery. Time to get this beast of a Fiesta back together and ready to head over to the paint shop. So let's crack on with it. Let's start with the front end. On with the hood and the front bumper there. And then we got car part 1 just underneath, which fills in the Ford badge. And this little splitter down at the front here. Front fenders, in you go and in you go. We've also got some lovely, I went for the ST line headlights with the little blanking bit on there. I think that looks pretty smart. On you go and on you go. We've also got the Hoonigan banner windshield. And if we just open up the hood there, we've got to throw that engine cover back in. Still undecided whether I'm going to keep that. I really like the look of it. It all depends on how well it can paint and match in with the colours I'll be working with a bit later on. So let's carry on around. We've got the door. And then let's get the window in along with the side mirrors. These are all what came on it. The only thing I've changed is the lights there. Everything else is pretty much what was on it anyway. So let's get it all back together. In with the trunk. Then we got a nice big rear bumper, a big old wing. And we'll get that rear window in there and along with the ST lights. I went for the tinted ones. And then just up here, you've got another little trunk, little left tail light just hiding up in the corner. It's very hard to see from a lot of places. It took me a little while to find it. I forgot about it from last time. You can hit it. It's just tucked in and hidden away quite nicely. In with the body window, on with the door, and then we've got the fenders on this side. Window and mirror, and then that big old hood scoop at the top. We did have to buy a new one of them. And that should be everything for the bodywork. Let's not press that button. 96, I'm definitely missing something. We'll figure that out in a minute. I meant to go and do the interior. Let's get in. I've gone for the blue seats. I'm hoping we can add a little bit of extra colour to them later. We got the blue, obviously, on the Ford badge there. We can blend into that and see if we can match these colours here. Now, what am I missing on this car? Oh, I know what I'm missing. Background to the front. We've got some lovely little hood scoops on here. I changed these, the GRC ones. They just look a little bit meaner. Now, is that everything? 100%, 100%, 100%. Absolutely fantastic. Let's get this one over to the paint shop and see what we can do today. Here we are then in the paint shop. Let's check out what French Toast has done with the liveries for these beautiful Fiestas. Let's just jump into it very quickly. Slot number 1 is the lovely Castrol Edge Rally-inspired livery. Looking pretty good on there. Slot number 2 is the Falcon Tires one. I love that one. That is a good looking livery. Slot number 3. What have we got? This crazy wild one. I like that. Not what we're going to go with today, though, but they're still pretty smart. Slot number 4. This is a very, very good one. The black drip onto the white body with the monster logos. Very, very nice. Again, not what we're aiming for today. This is the one we will probably be going with today. This is the Ken Block Gymkhana 8 one. Loving that. The car is this car. So that's the one we're going to be going for. But let's check out a couple more. In slot number 6, we got this lovely race-inspired one. Obviously, ignore the hoonigan stripe and the window stickers. They're part of the actual parts, not the livery on there. Looking quite smart. Slot number 7, another rally-inspired one there, looking pretty nice. And then in slot number 8 is the Rockstar Energy Drinks. That's all of them. Just going into that into 0. Looking pretty sweet. The one we're going to go for today is number 5. So let's just get back down to that. I might have gone too far. Have I? No, I haven't. And we're probably going to go for a lovely metallic finish. I love the bronzeness, obviously sort of copper bronzy on there. Looking pretty smart. Still got the Monster logos, still got the Ken Block logos, some Ford badges matching them with our bit of blue on the interior. That's definitely what we're going to go with. I don't know what colour the base colour is going to be. I think it's a grey at the moment. Might have to sort that out a little bit, see what goes where. But that's what we're going to go with. I'm going to get some bits painted, start getting it all back together in a few moments. So I'm going to get everything painted, hopefully match this colour awesomely, and then do some lovely work with the engine cover, the suspension, and the engine, and then we'll get it back on the lifter and see what I've done. Time to crack on and get this beast of a Fiesta back together. I'll just show you a couple of things. I have taken out the engine cover, no longer in there, no longer needed at all. And we've also put a bit of black on our blue racing seats. This was a little bit grey, so we just made it a bit more black and kept it in the blue. I think it kind of works with the Ford badging and stuff like that. I quite like it. But let's get it up in the air. We need to get the suspension all together, starting with the shocks. Black shocks, bronze springs, black cap, although they show up on here silver when they go on the car. Hopefully, they will look bronze. So let's get underneath and let's start getting all of this in. And let's start with that big old intercooler at the front there in that lovely bronzy sort of copper colour, looking fantastic. Back around we go. We got the front suspension cross member in that copper, the sway bar in a black, and the steering rack also in a black there. We've got the inner tie rod in that bronze, the knuckle also in a bronze, and the outer tie rod in a lovely little black there. Let's get on and get the shock in. Black shock, bronze springs. You can just see them poking through up there. They're not very clear. It's very, very compressed. Then the sway bar end link is also in a lovely little bronze there. And the lower suspension arm just in a black to finish it off. Separating it all up a little bit. All of this is chromed out, by the way. That's not. That's just its metallic finish. Then we got a cover in the black, the front wheel hub in that bronze. Again, that's not a chrome piece. That's just its normal quality of life edition finish. Just realised I almost forgot the bushings, so we will throw them in now. In we go, and in we go over there. Onto the brakes. Let's just get them in. We've got a wheel hub bearing, brake pad, and then some lovely chromed out bronze on the brake caliper there, looking pretty good. We do have a drive axle to go in. That will go in a little bit later on, obviously once the gearbox and stuff is in. But that's pretty much it for the front, so let's jump down the back. The rear cross member in the bronze, along with that knuckle as well. And the sway bar in a black, the same as the front, with the sway bar end link in that bronze as well, looking pretty good on there. Little rubber bushing in there. We've got a rubber bushing up here and one on the other side as well. If I can just get you in there, in you go. And then we'll crack on with the arms. The lower arms are both black. In you go. And around this side and in you go over here. As I said, both in the black, looking pretty good. Then the spring caps in the bronze with the spring in the black. There we go. And the cap on top in the bronze. Alternating from the front, looking pretty smart. We nip over to here. The upper suspension arms in that bronze, looking pretty sweet. Chromed out. It does change the finish of the bushings because it's chromed out, but we'll ignore that. Rear suspension arm in you go, also in that chrome bronze, and a lovely little bushing in there as well. Shock absorbers just in a black to keep the colours separated a little bit, looking pretty good. Then we've got the hub in black, the main part of the hub in that bronze. Then we've got a bearing and a drive axle, which is just in black, running through the middle there, looking pretty sweet. Brake disc, brake caliper, and then obviously on to the caliper. In you go, looking pretty sweet. I'm liking that, pretty pleased. If we jump up, we've got the fuel tank in a black with the fuel pump in a chromed out bronze colour. That's looking pretty sweet. We'll do all the exhaust a little bit later on. But yeah, that's it for most of it. I'm going to crack on and get the other side all finished. Then we'll move in to the engine bay, especially that giant radiator that's right in front of us right there. Get that in along with all the other parts, and then we'll go build that inline 4 engine with a turbo. Looking incredible in that black and the bronze or copper there, whatever you want to call it. looking very sweet. Very pleased with that. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But let's jump up. We need to get the engine bay sorted out. Let's start with the brake servo up there. Then we got the ABS pump in a bronze and a lovely bronze nozzle on top there. Looking pretty good. In you go. And we've got the coolant reservoir. We'll get you in the ECU Type A and the battery in as well while we're there. Just in here, we've got a lovely little black fuse box, and the radiator at the back is in a lovely bronze colour. And you can just about see it through the fans. We will check them out a little bit later on. I need to get back up the front, though. Really struggling with that a bit there. Was that most of it? We've just got this air filter to go, which isn't in the standard model. I've added this one myself. I took out the engine cover where the air filter normally sits, as in just the actual filter, so I could put an actual air filter in there. So we got a black base and then a performance filter, lovely little cover, and then some bronze clips just on the top and bottom. Just to finish that one off, I missed the enter button, go button, whatever you want to call it. That's too far away. Let's try that again. In you go, and in you go there. And I think that's it for the engine bay. I'm not 100% convinced. I feel like I'm missing something, but I'm not sure what it is. I know I need to finish off the fuse box, so I'm going to crack on with that now, and then we're going to go and build that four-wheel drive inline 4 engine. Hopefully going to look incredible in this absolute machine. So let's get on with it. Now let's get on with the heart of this build, building this i4 turbocharged engine. We got a black block, a black oil pan, and let's throw some bits on. The engine head is in that lovely bronzy colour, looking sweet in there. What can we do next? I suppose we just need to carry on, really. So let's get some of this front done. Let's just throw the idle rollers in. They are both blacked out just to look good. Then we got a water pump in the bronze just underneath. It's not quite a chromed out bronze, slightly different, but it will sit under a cover. Then the alternator in a very bright bronze, and the power steering pump in a chrome bronze to go with it. Underneath here, we got the oil filter also in a chromed out bronze, the fuel filter in a chromed out bronze, and then the exhaust manifold also in that lovely chromed out bronze, looking insane with the chrome bronze turbocharger on top of that, looking incredible. Very, very pleased with that. Underneath here, we got fuel injectors. I've kept all of these in bronze as well. Under we go. Let's just get all the way around. In you go, and in you go. And then we've got the intake manifold, which is also in that chrome bronze. Coming out the side there, looking fantastic, with a throttle just in a black, just to sort of separate it up a little bit, looking pretty sweet. I think the engine is angled this way inside the engine block, so what we'll see is up here and some of these side pieces here. Very good and colourful in there. Very pleased with that. Let's crack on, though. I need to get all of the innards all finished, which means these 2 camshafts, 4 spark plugs, and 8 camshaft caps as well. So I'm going to crack on with that. We've also got a cam gear to go on the end here and a few bits to figure out that side, which we'll do in just a moment. There we go. That's that all taken care of. We got a cam gear at the front here. We'll get you in, and then we're going to swing all the way around the back once I've bolted it up, and we'll get the cam gears in at the back end. In you go with a timing chain and a second cam gear on there, and then a lovely little bronzed out cover just to finish it off. In you go there. Let's swing back around to the front. We've got the serpentine belt in you go, and a belt tensioner, which is bronzed, even though it's going to sit under this black cover on you go, which kind of ruins everything that I painted under there, which is a bit of a shame. Crankshaft pulley also in that bronze, not quite chromed out, not quite as bright. Serpentine belt, and then one last idle roller just on there to finish the front off. Just the top to go, so let's get the head cover on in black. Now, I could have chromed bronze this part out, but I feel like we've got quite a bit of bronze going on at the top end here. Plus, all of our ignition coils are also chromed out bronze as well. Let's get them in, and I think that's this engine finished. Looking pretty sweet, mostly in black and bronze, kind of how we wanted it. It's going to look sweet when we drop it inside the Fiesta, hopefully. So I'm going to grab some pictures, and we'll get it dropped in and see what it looks like. Time to drop in this turbocharged inline 4 engine into our Fiesta. Let's see how good the black and bronze looks against the body. In we go there. Let's get you put away. That's looking pretty smart. There's quite a bit of silver in there. I wish I could have done something about that. The engine cover, I suppose, would have covered it, but we couldn't paint it in a nice enough colour, which was a bit of a shame. But that's looking sweet in there. Very pleased with that. We've got a gearbox to go in. We've got a starter to go in, along with some exhaust stuff. So let's get underneath. But before we do that, I just want to take you around the back. You can see that bronze all underneath the fan. You can even see it through the mesh in the trunk there, looking pretty sweet. Up you go. Let's get underneath and get that gearbox and drive shafts, because we got a couple to go in. I don't want the exhaust right now. I want to come in just a little bit. Now, I will throw this exhaust in. It has to go in to finish the car. Sadly, this is the part that pokes through the floor, which is a bit of a shame. It does all come pre-built into this, so you can't do anything with it if you want to pit the engine at a nice angle. In with the gearbox in that lovely chromed out bronze, looking pretty sweet. We also have the front drive shaft in the same chrome bronze as well. Then we've got the front drive axles just in black to finish it off. Wheels should show up now. There we go. And let's get the other side in. That's looking good. We also have the main drive shaft, which I've just done in a black. You've got it sort of technically going from the bronze into the bronze there, so we wanted to keep that looking pretty sweet. And then if we just go in and throw all of the exhaust in, it is all in bronze, and I thought it would look absolutely fantastic to do that, which I think it does. It looks great all under here, but if we come out and step away to the back, the tip is built into the rear bumper. So it is just a chrome tipped exhaust, but it is a bronze all the way up until there, which is still pretty sweet. Loving that. Not much left to go. I need to do some wheels. I've got an idea for the wheels. We'll see if it works. If it does, you'll see them in a minute. If it doesn't, you'll see whatever else I come up with. But we also do have to get in this lovely little starter here as well, which is just in a bit of a duller bronze, but still a bronze nonetheless. I didn't want to force chrome the whole lot out, but it still looks pretty sweet. I am very pleased with that. Thank you, French Toast, for letting me know what the colour codes for this bronze was. Looking very awesome. Next time you see this beautiful Fiesta, it'll be outside in the sun, all finished off. Here we are then, all finished with the Ken Block Ford Fiesta. Looking absolutely beautiful. Very pleased with how this one turned out. Excellent job, French Toast, on the mod and this stunning livery. It really is absolutely beautiful. Incredibly pleased with it. Before we jump any further, though, let's talk about these rims. Now, for the front rims here, I've gone for the rim Modern 3B, black inserts, and then painted that bronzy colour on the outside there. Looking pretty good. It's a 20-inch rim with a 245 width and a 40 profile. It also has 30 ET on there to bring this one out in line with the fenders there. Looking pretty sweet. Down at the back, it's inverted colours. This is the Modern 3C rim. Same size, 20-inch, 245 width with a 40 profile, but the rear wheels do not need any ET. ET0 at the back, ET30 at the front, and alternating rims. I really like them. I think they look absolutely fantastic. Both front and back, exactly the same. Then obviously we've got that black and bronze engine looking stunning in there, along with all the suspension in the matching colour scheme as well. Very, very pleased with this one. I love this colour scheme. One of my absolute favourites. It is so good. But let's jump inside with one quick look around the back. We'll open up that trunk. You can see the bronze fan housing in there. The little flashy red light to show that we're on and going. Looking sweet. Now inside to the main interior. Still got my blue seats in there. Looking pretty smart with black inserts. There's a blue bit on the fan there. Some blue buttons. So some of the blue does match. The doors, on the other hand, do not match. One of them is a metal plate with Ken Block stickers. One of them is a carbon fibre plate with Ken Block stickers. And you can't get the same on either side. I don't know if it's a door missing or this is how it's meant to be. I'm not sure. But yeah, carbon fibre on the driver's door with Ken Block stickers. Metal plate on the passenger side with Ken Block stickers. But it still looks fantastic in here nonetheless. Even got Hoonigan printed on the handle. Well, let's get the i4 started and hear that turbo whistle. Nothing special on the tick over, but as soon as you give this one some gas, it changes its tone. Still sounds pretty mean at the top end, and that turbo whistle I do absolutely love. But let's get this one onto the dyno and see what power we've got today, along with our drag rating. Here we are then on the dyno with Ken Block's Ford Fiesta STRX with an inline 4 double overhead cam, turbocharged 4-wheel drive engine, 615 factory horsepower. What have we got it up to today, and what's our drag rating? A gain of 547, 89%, almost a whole new engine on top of there, bringing us up to 1,162 horsepower and a drag rating of a 999. Be ready for all the unicorns we're going to be racing against today, which will be quite ironic. Lots of Ken Block builds we should see on the drag strip. Let's have a look at the gearbox tuning setup for today. There she is, a 2.6 ratio, 98 kilometers an hour in a first gear, up to 459 in fifth gear. We've got the ECU already tuned and there's no carburetor. So let's get into it. Let's get over to the drag strip. Let's try and win another tournament. Here we are then, back at the drag strip with our Ken Block Ford Fiesta, ready to go. King of the Sands, 1 mile, A-class. Pay our entry fee. And who have we got today? Quite a few unicorns. Oh, the Alenti VM drag driven by my brother. That's nicely done. Who else have we got? Truck Fan, nice to see you in the version 4 unicorn. Payne is in the version 2 unicorn. Who else have we got? That looks like everybody. So let's get into it. Our first race is against the Ford Mustang RTR Unicorn version 4. We got a Ken Block Mustang versus a Ken Block Fiesta. Looking pretty good on the line next to each other. I do prefer my Fiesta livery. I definitely prefer the Mustang long run. But let's get inside and see if we can beat it. Let's go. Off the line, into second. That's quick. Into third. That's not doing bad off the line. Where are you? Behind us. That's definitely what we like to see. Into fourth. What are we going to cross the line at today? And are we going to win our first race? I certainly hope so. I don't like losing the first race. Into fifth gear. What will we cross the line at today? This seems slightly longer, so let's find out. That looked like 386 kilometers an hour. It was indeed. And an 8.247 to the quarter of a mile with a 20.962 to the 1 mile. Absolutely demolished the Ken Block Unicorn. What a shame. We beat you with our wonderful Fiesta. Let's get into the next one. Well, my brother's still in with the Alenti VM drag. That is currently the Speederboard champion, by the way. We have another one up here as well. Sadly, Truck Fan is now out, but Dead Bob or Payne is still in his version 2 unicorn. We're now up against the version 2 unicorn anyway, so let's get into it and see if we can win this one. Now that's a better unicorn livery right there. That looks absolutely fantastic. Very, very pleased with that. Looking great. Still think ours looks a little bit better, but we need to beat it down the track. So let's get inside. Let's go. Off the line, into second. Come on, little Fiesta, into third. We've pulled away. We are four-wheel drive though, so that does make sense. Into fourth gear. It's just whether we can keep it for the full 1 mile length of track. Let's see if we're going to do slightly better than we did last time. We are still winning at the moment. I'm very pleased about that. It does sound like it's catching. That looked like 386 again. Let's find out. It is indeed. And an 8.274. Not quite as good as an 8.247 the other way around in our first run. And a 20.977. Our first run was slightly quicker. Off you go, Unicorn. It was nice to beat you again. Who's next? Well, there we go. Sadly, Payne's also been knocked out as well, but my brother in the Speederboard champion is who we are up against next. This could be quite a hard race, and I do expect us to lose if this has got the right tune on it. So let's get into it, see if we can beat my drag racing monster creation. Well, there she is. Not quite the same spec as mine with a double spoiler and that awesome livery, but it's still fast. I know that for a fact. So let's see if we can beat it. I am expecting us to lose, but let's go. Off the line, into second, into third. Where are we? We are pulling away. Maybe we've got the better build. Let's go. Oh, this is going to... I'm excited for this race because I am expecting to lose to that, but it looks like we are going to win. Into fifth gear. Is this going to be our best run yet? Is it going to be our worst run yet? Let's cross the line and find out. Looked like it was 386 again. It was an 8.271. Still not quite beating our 8.247 from our first run. And the 1 mile, not quite as good as our 20.962. But we did beat the Alenti Calope, which I'm a little bit surprised at, because that is our current Speederboard champion. Obviously not tuned to the same level I did mine. Let's get into the final, where I imagine the other Alenti Calope has gone through, and we'll be up against that one. Well, it is. We've got the Alenti Calope again, the VM drag. Hopefully this one will be a bit better tuned and give us a bit more of a challenge because, well, this Ford Fiesta Ken Block is demolishing everything we put in front of it so far. So let's get into the last race and see if we can win. It looks better in white than it did the last red, but still not quite my full epic livery with the double spoiler and everything like that on it. Let's see if we can beat this one. Hopefully it's not too well tuned. Let's go! Off the line, into second. Come on, little Fiesta, into third. We are pulling away by the looks of that. Hopefully we can smash this one as well. We're not going to get another speederboard champion today, but hopefully we can get a good speed on there and get a good place for the lovely Ford Fiesta. Into top gear. Are we going to win? Oh no, I've just ruined everything. I don't believe it. I pressed the wrong button and I pulled into the wall and we got disqualified. I can't believe it. We probably would have won that one. Bit of a shame that we never made it to the end and we haven't quite won. I pressed the wrong button. I was aiming for the F key to see where the Jackyl was and I accidentally pressed D and pulled myself into the barrier. Such a shame, but we do have some winnings to collect. We did lose to my speederboard champion. So I'm just going to class it as that, regardless of the disqualification. Let's go get this one on the speederboard and collect our winnings. There we go. Bit of a shame. I do think we could have beat that one if I wasn't such an idiot. But still, 5,250 minus our entry fee, 4,250. Let's get back to the garage. Let's get the Ford Fiesta Ken Block onto the speederboard. Well, there we have it. The Ken Block Ford Fiesta in 4th place on the speederboard. Very impressed with that. Only 1,162 horsepower, the lowest horsepower in the top 10, with an 8.247 seconds to the quarter of a mile and a 20.962 to the 1 mile. It's a bit lacking in the legs a little bit. 386 kilometers an hour or 240 miles an hour at the 1 mile mark. Still very, very impressive nonetheless. I wasn't quite expecting that. Still didn't quite beat our Jackyl, although we did technically beat it. Just not the full tuned version that I built there. It is still outside. We'll check that one out in a little while. But let's go and check out the Ken Block Ford Fiesta before we say goodbye. Out we go. There she is, looking very beautiful. Very pleased with that engine in there in the black and bronze. The engine bay does look very empty once you take off that engine cover, but I don't like engine covers, so I removed it from ours, but it still looks pretty good nonetheless. The interior is still pretty sweet in there, and I do love the bronze fan. Well, the bronze radiator, there we go, sitting underneath them black fans. If only I could have painted them ones bronze, they'd have looked absolutely incredible as well. But it looks beautiful. Let's talk some facts and figures about this beautiful Fiesta. Now, I bought the car for 28,954 and I could sell it there and then, taking a loss of 2,966. Obviously, we didn't do that. We spent quite a bit of money modifying, upgrading this one, painting this one, and getting all the performance parts on it. A total spend of parts of 73,544, pitting our total cost for the car as 102,498. But she is beautiful. She is very, very pretty. The real question is, can we make a profit from this beautiful Ford Fiesta? Let's get inside and have a look. Oh, now 100% complete. 111,000 kilometers on there. Not bad at all. 2013, it probably shouldn't have that many on there, but not that bad. Now with 1,162 horsepower, up from 615, a gain of 89%. But can we make a profit? 412,183 is our sale price. Take away the 102,498 we spent on it, leaves us with a profit of 309,685. Very profitable car if you can get this one. You definitely should. Add in our winnings from the tournament, although we didn't quite win the tournament. We did still win enough races to get some prize money. 5,250 minus our entry fee leaves us with a profit, all told, of 313,935. Thank you so much for the Ford Fiesta. Absolutely beautiful. Link in the comments below if you want to grab this one yourself. It is by French Toast. Deliveries are by French Toast. Absolutely perfect, this one. Off we go, though. Time to say goodbye. I will see you soon. A Ken Block's Ford Fiesta. Someone else is going to tear you up around some drag strips and some racetracks. See you soon. Off you go. What have we got up next? Is it a brand new mod? This is the Lamborghini Gallardo. Looking absolutely special. The next mod by Lit. If I can just get into this one. This is the Superleggera. Absolutely insane. Very bad condition at the junkyard. Not always available at the junkyard. I edited my files so that it could be. But if you have cars spawn everywhere, you will be able to get it from the junkyard as well. Just might not be as much luck as I did. But there we go. In terrible bad condition. It does have in it the V10 overhead valve MT8 engine. Only 525 from factory. not quite as good as the Fiesta we built today, but still should be a lot of fun. And also, we're going to be putting performance parts all over it, making it as insane as we can. Did I get a good deal? I did, and only just. 7,535 is what I paid for the Lamborghini Gallardo, and I could sell it for 8,456, making a profit of 921, but we obviously aren't going to be doing that one. This is what we're going to be working on next time. It is going to be a lot of fun. This is it for today's video, though. I hope you did enjoy it. Please consider subscribing if you did. There is the beautiful Speederboard Champion LNT Calope. See what I mean by the big double wing on the back? The two we raced against today didn't have that. Or the beautiful livery, or, I'm going to say it, the tuner that we managed to get on this one. Absolutely insane. But that's it for today's video. I hope you did enjoy it. Please consider subscribing, sharing this video with your friends, especially if you think they'll enjoy it. Leave me a like, leave me a comment, let me know what you think of today's build and what we should build in the future. Hope you have a wonderful day. It is very, very nearly Christmas, but as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.